Well, Veronica did it again. She came to me with yet another impossible task.
I have a challenge for you.
Our client needs a podcast and YouTube desk, all of the equipment mounted to it, microphones, cameras, even a teleprompter. But the curveball is that this desk needs to be able to move from room to room, be on wheels with adjustable height and just a single plug that can be plugged in. Now, doing that for a client is one thing, but doing it in a way that actually impresses my wife? Well,
that's the real challenge.
I'm going to show you how you can build a rolling podcast studio desk that you can actually use for everything. Recording podcasts, making YouTube videos, looking sharp on Zoom, even live streaming with multi-cameras and cool camera switching. You can roll it in, roll it out, plug in one cable, and you're ready to go. And I'm also going to break this down into 3 versions: Budget, Premium, and Pro Max, so that you can walk away knowing how to create the perfect desk for podcasting or YouTube. I know. Okay, so to start off with, we're gonna need a sturdy desk with an adjustable height on wheels that can carry a ton of weight. We're gonna need something sturdy. We're gonna need something Husky. Look no further than the 62-inch adjustable height Husky desk that has like 1.2 inches of thick, delicious wood, and it's also very attractive. It looks good on camera. Pick up this puppy at Home Depot. This isn't an Amazon purchase. 1.2 inch, but it's gonna be worth it. You're gonna love it. You'll use it for everything. We have 2 of them here. They're amazing. On the casters, this thing can support 300 pounds at whatever height you bring it to. And it has a maximum height of 42 inches. So once we mount everything to it, that means that you can do standing videos or sitting videos, whatever kind of video you wanna make, this desk has you covered. So once you've got the desk in the bag, now we can move on to the first setup, which is our budget-friendly podcaster desk. Okay, so let's start with our lights. We're gonna use 2 of the newer BR13 LED round panel floor lamps. These little guys come in at about $50 US right now, which makes them the perfect starter budget-friendly light. They also have a really cool technology that makes it so you don't have to use a softbox. It's not gonna create a big bright spotlight on your face. It's gonna look really nice. These are way better than ring lights, and we love them. However, we're not gonna use the floor stands that come with these panels. Instead, let's open up this 2-pack from Newer of these C-clamp desk mount light stands. These stands are really nifty, coming in at about $30 US right now, very easy to clamp to the desk, and supposedly they can hold 5 kilograms of weight. I don't really know what a kilogram is. Just in case I need some notes. But I think 5 kilograms is about 11 pounds, which should definitely cover any kind of light or panel light that we're gonna add to them. All right, so let's move on to our camera. Since this is a budget setup, let's start off with the Elgato Facecam 4K Studio. The reason that this is our top choice for a web camera is because it has a lot of really cool features with the Elgato Camera Hub app that lets you adjust all of the parameters of the camera to get it just right. This is a 4K camera, really important to record in that 4K quality, and they've stripped out the microphone from this camera, which supposedly prioritizes the video quality even more. However, it still is a web camera coming in at about $200 US, so you do get what you pay for. You may even find better results recording directly from your Mac Pro camera that comes into your computer. You could also go with the continuity camera on your iPhone for this setup in place of the face cam and get a comparable quality. But now that we've talked about the camera, let's talk about the audio and the microphone that we're gonna use. An all-time favorite of ours and also a great budget option is the DJI Mic Mini. These microphones are so impressive. They get an incredible sound, and you can plug them directly into your computer, or you can plug them directly into a camera. You can get the 2-pack for about $200 US, or you can even just get a single microphone and a transmitter for about $70. I love the hands-free option that this mic gives you, and they're a great all-around mic that you can also hook up to your phone and take around with you to make portable content. Just an amazing piece of equipment to have in your arsenal. Now finally, what's gonna make this a true command station for crafty and fantastic podcast and YouTube creators, such as yourself, is the Elgato Prompter. The Elgato Prompter is like my favorite piece of equipment. It works as a secondary monitor for your computer, which means you can look directly at your guest, make eye contact with the remote guest, and also be looking into the lens of the camera. You could also read a teleprompter, look at your notes, anything you want to do. This is a true content creation hack. And as I mentioned, the Elgato Facecam happens to hook up perfectly to the Elgato Prompter. Now, we're gonna need a way to mount this prompter to our desk. And for this setup, Veronica really wanted me to try it out with the Elgato low profile mic stand, or the Wave Mic Arm LP. Many people are experimenting with using this Wave mic arm to hold all sorts of different equipment that you want to mount to a desk. Cameras, teleprompters, microphones, even lights. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna set up the Facecam 4K to the prompter, and we'll have to do that by using different attachments that come with the prompter. Now, when I bought the prompter, it didn't come with the 4K attachment, but that's okay because they give you any number of attachments that you could use, including this one that has this little cloth on the back of it, and that will allow us to use this just fine. And look how cool it is to move the prompter around from side to side, up and down with both the lift and fall arm, as well as this 360 swivel situation. This makes the shot that we want to get incredibly flexible, and we can really point our camera toward any direction of our room. And there we have it. That is the completion of our first desk setup. I have to say, for the budget-friendly desk setup, this is some pretty incredible stuff. Look how cool it is that it moves around and we can flip it around in any way we want. And of course, like our client, when we're done recording in this room, we can move the whole desk into another room. If we have a multi-purpose room situation and we need to use our room for something besides recording content. And check out my wiring job on this desk. I use some really nifty Velcro sticky thingies that I could stick to the bottom of the desk, and this way I can attach cables and move cables around however I want, get them to be very clean and stable, but also still allow the desk to lift in any way that it needs to. And check it out, just one little plug coming out of the bottom of the desk. So let's see this desk in action using the Riverside app. Okay, so here's a little test recording in Riverside. I'm looking through the teleprompter, where I could have a teleprompter script, or I could be looking directly into the eyes of my guest that I'm recording with remotely. I can adjust my lighting here, and using the face cam 4K, I'm getting a 4K recording directly into Riverside, and I can also adjust my face cam to my liking and tweak all of the settings perfectly that way. And I'm using the DJI Mic Mini, so I'm hands-free. I can move around, and I'm podcasting and content creating like a beast. Of course, I can also move this around in any way I want. Now, if you want to link to all of this gear, the budget setup and the other two setups we're going to cover, just type desk into the comments here right where you're watching this video, and I will send you a link to all of the equipment that we cover in this video. Pretty amazing first setup, right? But before we move on to the second premium rolling podcast desk setup, if you didn't catch on by now, Veronica and I do work with clients one-on-one, and we would love to work with you if you need that extra help getting things set up in your office or home. For 7 years now, we've been helping people do just that, so we can train you or your team how to record content, proper and professional workflows, content marketing and distribution, all done for you. Just go to pss.media and set up a consultation call with Veronica. All right, now let's start fresh with the next setup. This is our premium creator desk. So again, let's start with our lighting. And this is our first major upgrade. Check out this newer NL 360 arc round panel light. This guy is pretty amazing. Now it comes in about 7 or 8 pounds, which is why it's so important that our light stands can support a lot of weight. You don't want a flimsy light stand going with this guy. But it is a bicolor light, and it has that same technology built into it as the little light did, where it softens the light so you won't need to use a softbox with this light, and you won't get any bright spotlights on your face. I don't know how they do it, but it's amazing. Because it's the bicolor light, you can go more to a warm temperature or a daylight temperature, which will suit any shooting needs you may run into. This is gonna be our key light, and for our fill light, we're gonna stick with just one of our BR13 round panels. And we'll stick with the 2-pack of newer C-clamp desk mount stands for both of these lights. Very easy then to just swap out the little sister round baby panel and plop this new one in its place. Now, I hope this newer stand is actually going to support the 7 or 8 pounds of this light.
I'm gonna tighten it. I'm gonna make sure I tighten it really good and proper. I'm gonna tighten it.
And we'll cross our fingers. Now, our next major upgrade is our camera. We gotta get rid of the web camera. We gotta move up into the pro levels, guys. We're going with our favorite for creators, the Sony ZV-E10 with the Sigma 16mm lens. This combo is our favorite for many reasons, but the Sony ZV-E10 allows you to attach any lens you want to. The reason we go with the 16mm Sigma lens is because it has a really nice soft look to it. This is just all around such a beautiful and tasty combo. You've gotta try it out. Again, just drop desk in the comments, and I'll send you the links. And while we're upgrading things, let's upgrade our audio to a true podcaster's mic, the Rode USB Pod Mic. This microphone has become my all-around top suggestion for most beginners, for most creators, because right out of the box, it has some really cool sounds built into it. And you could use it with the Rodecaster app to adjust the effects and play with the parameters. But as I said, out of the box, it already has some really cool podcasting sounds on it, like noise reduction, compression, and EQ. So you sound like a fancy podcaster broadcaster without having to know what any of those effects do. Also, it just looks pretty cool. And you remember that Elgato low-profile wave mic arm? Instead of using that for the prompter, Let's use that for this microphone setup. I love how you can wire the cable through the little cavity of these magnetic plates on this low profile boom arm. You gotta pick up one of these low profile boom arms. They're amazing. And we still gotta stay intelligent, specialized, high performing, amazing creators. And for that, we're gonna need to stick with the Elgato prompter. But this time we'll actually set it up using our Elgato Master Mount L. They call it Master for a reason. Now, when you're using the prompter with a DSLR camera that has a lens, you'll actually attach the prompter directly to the lens, which is amazing. The prompter's light enough so the camera can easily carry the weight. So instead of attaching the prompter to the tripod or the mount, we'll start by attaching the camera to the mount. And then we can screw on the little adapter that comes for our lenses like you would a lens filter. And that allows the prompter to slide over the top of this little ring that we screwed onto the Sigma lens. This way there isn't any light that gets in, the prompter works perfectly, and it's seriously right there up against the lens. It's amazing. And that completes our next upgrade, and we are ready to try out our premium podcaster desk. I just can't get over how cool this setup is, and how much I know my wife is finally gonna love me again when she sees how smart I am and how happy I'm gonna make my client. All right, now let's wipe this desk clean again and start fresh with the final setup. Don't forget to comment desk so I can send you the links to all of this equipment all in one convenient place. Pro Max Creator plus Streamer Desk.
Yes.
And let's start in the same place with the light setup. Now, what we have going on is already pro level, so we're gonna use the same round panel lights, the big brother and the little sister. We'll also use just one of those C-clamp desk mount light stands. But here's where we're gonna upgrade things
to the max.
This time we're bringing a new friend to the party, the newer dual rotatable tabletop mount stand. These puppies are so cool. They can go straight up or you can tilt them in lots of different configurations. And when they're tilted, they have a max load up to 11 pounds. And if they're placed upright, they have a max load up to 33 pounds. I can fit my little baby girl up on that. And it just feels so manly, satisfying to mount this to your Husky desk. Now, why are we using a stand like this that has two poles coming out of one clippy thing? Be patient, I got a big surprise for you. Okay, so now since we're going
Pro Max,
we've got to upgrade our microphone to the most popular podcast mic that we can find. You guessed it, the Shure SM7B. I mean, come on. This guy is so famous. Every podcaster you love is using this thing. You know, Joe Rogan, Mark Maron, Glenn Washington, Conan O'Brien, Sam Harris, Chris Williamson, Lex Friedman, Scott Galloway, Alex Hormozi, Eric Sue, Dave Ramsey, Dax Shepard, Candace Owens, and Steve Bartlett, to name a few. We'll go ahead and stick with the Elgato Wave Arm LP to hold this king on its pedestal. But this mic is not a USB microphone. It's gonna require an audio interface and an XLR cable. And since I want something really flashy that will also help us live stream like bosses with all the bells and whistles, we're gonna add to our desk the Rodecaster Duo. The Rodecaster Duo allows you to plug in two different microphones. It works as a receiver if you want to use any of Rode's assortment of cool transmitters like the Rode wireless microphones or even the Interview Pro microphone that is wireless. And it also allows you to add your own sound effects to these cool banks, which are these color buttons that you can press.
I don't know, pitch up your voice a little bit.
or maybe you need to talk like a monster.
Or you want to sound a little bit more like a robot?
It just feels and looks like a toy. It's amazing, and it sounds really good too. But for this setup, it really shines because it also has a custom preset for the Shure SM7B, noise reduction, EQ, and compression that works really well for that microphone. Of course, you can tweak these parameters to your liking if you like that kind of a thing. Otherwise, it's just ready to go right out of the box. Now for our camera setup, we're gonna keep using that Sony ZV-E10 with the Sigma lens, but we're gonna use that as a secondary above side angle shot and add the ultimate of all creator podcaster cameras to our desk. Because come on,
We're Pro Max now.
we gotta go all the way to the top. And for that, we're pulling out the Sony a7 IV with a G Master 35mm lens.
Tasty.
This lens combo puts you at the top of this type of camera. I mean, really, you only get better than this if you go into the true cinema cameras like Blackmagic or Red cameras. You're really playing with the big boys here. You're getting those cinematic shots with a crispy looking image and that seductive blurry background. And remember I said I had a surprise for you? Well, check this out. We're gonna use our new dual rotatable tabletop mount stand to hold our big brother round panel light, but with the other arm, we're going to attach the ZVE10 and angle it down into the side for our secondary camera shot. Yeah, that's right. Our Pro Max setup has 2 cameras. But hold on, 2 cameras are great and everything. But if we really want to go Pro Max, we're going to need a camera switcher. And there really is no more Pro or more Max switcher than the Rodecaster Video or the RCV. This guy is so cool. And it has so many amazing features, including being able to record each camera input onto a flash drive, in addition to using it as a camera switcher. So setting up the 2 cameras to the RCV is super easy. You just plug in an HDMI cable to your camera and then the other end into the RCV, and then plug the RCV into your computer. Now, whatever application you're using on your computer will recognize the RCV as a camera source. So you could use this in Zoom or Riverside, or any streaming software that you want to use. And to finish this setup, we will of course keep using the Elgato Prompter and the Master Mount L. But this time we're going to screw in the Sony a7 IV to the Master Mount.
What in the hell and foundation?
Daddy, do you need to get you a snack?
What in the hell in tarnation?
And slip the prompter over the top of that delicious 35mm G Master lens. Oof. Now, I've really outdone myself here. If Veronica isn't over the moon about this setup, that's it? So help me. Please like me. 1 cable comes out of this bad Larry desk. Our client can roll this around from room to room. It's truly set up to create any kind of content that you can imagine. Okay, here we are testing the 3rd and final setup. You see, I got the classic SM7B microphone. I'm also using the Rodecaster Duo, so I could live stream with this setup and maybe have some music going on. Hey, welcome to my show. Also, of course, I now have a camera switcher going on when I need a different angle. And I could very easily attach more cameras. I could have an overhead shot, maybe if I want to demonstrate things on my desk. I could have sound effects, the full production, and I can man this all myself pretty easily. Also, if I have a co-host, we can both just back up a little bit from the camera. Here we are, I have a few different cameras. I can switch between me and my co-host. A lot of flexibility here. What do you think about the quality? What do you think about the ultimate Max setup here? Let me know in the comments, because I think it's pretty gravy. I think it's pretty gravy, yeah. Do you think it's gravy, yeah. I think it's gravy, yeah. So what do you think, my friend? I've outdone myself. Please do me a favor and leave a comment here on the channel telling Veronica how impressed you are with my client satisfaction abilities. And hey, are you satisfied? What was your favorite setup? Remember, if you want to link to all of the gear, including all the little adapters and everything, just comment desk in the comments here where you're watching. And also, if you would like to put our abilities to work for you and your team, setting up and building any configuration of studio for you, a content marketing and distribution system, you can set up a consultation call with Veronica by going to pss.media. But now you've got to see a similar configuration of Pro Max gear being put to the test with more of Veronica's demands. This time, Veronica wanted an advanced and professional multi-camera setup for a live stream show that she was putting on. I had to pull out all of the stops and use every piece of gear that we have here in the studio to fulfill her wishes.